I think starting out learning about Black British culture studies was a great way for us to transition into what Black culture is for people in the United States. Since Britain was one of the first countries to start colonizing others, it gives us some knowledge of what it was like for those people. And for the people who weren't born British, it created a question of who you were, since you usually came from two or more different types of backgrounds, and now you're trying to fit into one, and it's always clashing. Since people were always trying to fit in, it was really hard for them just because it was different. And for this new culture, like the British culture that they're entering in, it was hard for the colored people because it often rejected them. And it created this ambivalent type of relationship where you really wanted to fit in, but you hated how it made you feel. In the documentary, it talked about how Stuart Hall's mother had a hard time adjusting to this new type of culture as well. She started rejecting her own and trying to fit into the new one, and in the end, it had an unfortunate outcome for her. I think this is very similar to how it will be for the people in the United States as well. All this is so relevant because we as people now are still trying to fit in. Another thing I noted in the documentary was when Hall asked other people where they came from, it was asked in this really light manner, and he expected this long story and was very interested in what people had to say. Instead, now when people ask, where are you from, it's more of a negative thing. Well, most of the time it is for me. I usually tell them where I'm born, which is Cody, Wyoming, or Seattle, and then they would ask the question again in a different tone. And then I realized that they were asking about something else, and I feel uncomfortable. Most of the majority of the time, I do feel like I belong here, but times like those, I'm questioning if I'm just settling or if I truly still feel like I belong.